Well, hello there. How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good day. Today we have a new pick a card reading. Today we're going to be exploring how our light bodies are being activated. The intention with this one is that I'm currently feeling that as a collective, at the moment I'm recording this video, which just happens to be on the Leo's Gate, 2024's Leo's Gate. As a collective, we're going through a bit of a rough time, I feel like. That there are a lot of things coming up to the surface. And actually, the reason for that is what I'm sensing is there's a lot of light codes getting downloaded, a lot of light bodies activations. There's a lot of light moving, and as such, a lot of lower frequencies getting released as we speak. Obviously, this message is timeless. So whenever you stumble upon this video, that's going to be relevant. But yeah, this is the intention of this video, to be a little more aware of what is currently happening, realizing that no, feeling some lows isn't just for the heck of it, you know, it's like there's a purpose, there's a reason. That's not the finality of it. That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, I'm very excited about what we're going to be diving into today. So just a reminder before we dive in, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe so you don't miss out when we post new videos like so. And with that out of the way, let's get to it. Today we got 3 groups to be choosing from. I'm going to be asking you to choose the pile that you feel the most drawn to based on your intuition. It may be the number of the pile that you enjoy the most. It may be the crystal that we're going to be covering. But yeah, just letting your intuition guide you towards the pile which is going to hold the message that you're meant to be hearing at this moment. Concerning the crystals, for pile number 1, we got, if I can grab it, a little piece of beautiful pyrite. For pile number 2, we got the hematite. Beautiful hematite. And for pile number 3, I love this tiny buddy. I believe it to be Aventurine. Don't quote me on this one, but I'm pretty sure it is. There you go. So yeah, take a moment, take all the time that you need, pause the video if that's what you need, to really tune into your intuition and feel the pile that you feel the most drawn to, the one which is going to be holding the message for you. Understand that if you feel drawn to more than one pile, that's okay. There may be more than one, there may be messages in more than one pile. And once you've made your choice, you can fast forward directly to the timestamps provided down below, either in the pinned comment or the description box, so you can fast forward directly to your reading. And I'm gonna see you there. Hey, pile number 1, you're up. How are you doing? I hope you're excited. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're ready to be learning about what light codes are being currently activated within you. If pile 1, if you chose this beautiful piece of pyrite, that's gonna be your reading. So let's not waste any more time and let's get to it. So we're gonna start with these 2 cards, which are going to give us the overall energies that we're dealing with when it comes to what's actually going on underneath. And I think that's actually pretty darn obvious straight off the bat, so that's great. Not gonna have to spend any more time, figuring it out. I have the tarot cards already on the side, by the way, for just later. Lion Spirit, Owl Spirit. I really do feel that the Owl Spirit, 100% clarity. Like, you are opening the eyes. The owl, the energy, one of its many energies, obviously, but in this context I'm really strongly getting the sense of seeing in the dark. There's dark, suddenly you see in it. The eyes get wide open and you start seeing what's been lurking behind your back, so to speak. And I really do see, like, you can see clearly now. It's really, I really genuinely do feel that pile 1, my dear pile 1s, we've been dealing here with a lot of confusion. I genuinely feel that you've been dealing with emotions, or I wouldn't necessarily say emotion, like a general sense, a situation, but it would be even wider, because what I'm picking up on right now is very, when it is really comes to your energy body, 100%. So the manifestations of this situation, which has been this hijinks, which has been going on in your energy body, I'm definitely seeing that manifestation, how you observe it, is definitely in your emotions, that you've been feeling weird for a long time, and I'm picking up on perhaps some futile emotions. You regularly experiencing some emotions that you do not prefer, and yet feeling like you somehow cannot do anything about these emotions. Like you feel bad, but you don't necessarily know why. And you feel like you can't necessarily do anything about it, which is not the most awesome thing. I'm gonna give you that. I'm also feeling that in your experience, your physical experience, there's some hijinks going on, as in your physical reality is not in a place where you would prefer it to be, but you are aware of the fact that it pretty darn well reflects the way you're feeling. And I also feel that there is, on the mind body, a lot of confusion, a lot of brain fog going on. I would say generate a lot of confusion, a lot of, there's something off. That thing we see many symptoms of throughout our emotional body, our mind body, even physical body. I'm hearing for some in our external reality. Our external reality is reflecting that to us, that there's something off, but somehow we can't pinpoint exactly what the hell is going on. And that's the thing which is being activated. Is like third eye activation, 100%. Couldn't be clearer than that. It's like you're literally seeing in a brand new light, in the light of consciousness, what the hell has been going on all along. And I'm hearing that you're seeing it from a new angle. You perhaps, if you've been aware of the situation for a long time, you may have been for a long time investigating your emotions. I'm feeling that most of you probably have been for, I was about to say a long time, but it's very relative in regards to, it feels like a long time, but we could be talking years, we could be talking months, we could be talking weeks. Really depends on your story, basically, and how and when you became aware of it. But I'm really sensing that it's something that you've been investigating for a long time, and somehow it never really made sense. It's like you cannot pinpoint the root of it. From a new angle, a new perspective, you see it now. That's what's being activated. That's why it may feel a little shaky, because it's really blowing up in your face at the moment. It's like all of these emotions, all of these things are coming out to the surface because you're seeing them in a new light. Lion Spirit is, especially with the green that we have, it's like heart chakra activation, 100%. It's the love coming back in your life. You feeling the connection that you have with the world, you coming back in a sense, in a state of harmony within yourself, in a state of harmony with life. I generally do see like a switch in perspective relative to something which has been in your history for a long time, which has been plaguing you for a while, but you couldn't understand what the hell was going on there. And now you see what's going on, and that is bringing you back in a state of flow within yourself, with a strong accent being put on your heart, and you experiencing love within. I hope it makes sense, but yeah, that's really what I'm getting here. Not gonna waste time, we're gonna just dive straight into the tarot cards, which we have many of. By the way, back of the deck energy, the Queen of Pentacles. We may come back to this one just after. Before the cards, we have Destiny, which is the Wheel of Fortune. Yep. I don't even know if they're gonna all fit in. We got the Empress card. We have the Eight of Swords. The Page of Swords. Okay. Some swords coming up. Three of Wands. Do they still fit in? Yeah, I'm not gonna have enough space. That's fine. The World, as well as the Hanged Man. Well, healthy amount of major arcanas. Where the hell am I gonna put this card now? There you go. Perfect. we got them all. We got them all on the table. Okay. Well, to begin with, back of the deck energy is Queen of Pentacles. I'm strongly getting, just from the imagery, a state femininity, in the sense of divine feminine, feeling connected to the world, feeling provided with the world, feeling one with the world, being aware of your connection with the world, being aware that you are a piece of this world, quite literally and physically. Your body comes from the food that you eat. The food that you eat comes from the soil. You're literally a piece of the ground, if you want to look at it this way. But that's pretty much what it is. It's like being aware of your connection and really having this emotional experience of being one with the world. It also feels a healthy sense of independence. As in, yeah, that's something I'm getting. How would I describe it? Because it's like being one with the world, feeling provided by the world, but at the same time being completely aware of your power. It's not codependence, the opposite. It's empowerment. It's an empowered state of the feminine, where the feminine feels provided for and contained, and as such has all the space to blossom and open up. That's the overall energy I'm getting. And it does make sense with what we've already touched so far, but I'm curious to see what we're going to find in the tarot. Well, first of all, the two first cards, Wheel of Fortune and Empress. I'm definitely sensing Wheel of Fortune. It's that what you've been dealing with, this energy, this low frequencies that we have been handling for a while now. It's like a lot of you Pile 1 are in the perspective, I just would like these emotions to disappear, to freaking go away and just let me, happy without them. I'm strongly sensing that these emotions will not just vanish because they're not meant to. I genuinely feel like there's a very important piece of your truth within these emotions. So like these emotions are really opening your eyes up to something that perhaps a lot of people on this planet will not realize in this lifetime. I'm really genuinely sensing that because of the experience that you had in the past that led you into feeling all of these emotions, led you into experiencing these weird situations that feel a little stuck, a little murky, you are opening yourself up to discovering a truth of how our world goes around that a lot of people, not having had these kinds of experience, never questioned themselves about and probably will never get to discover. Which is not better, it's not worse, it's different, but it's something to be aware. It's like, I'm genuinely do feeling that these emotions, and more than emotions, again, I'm picking up very much on a state of being. It's more of an energy body thing, which yet again, it's like all of the layers of our bodies are woven together, intertwined. So if something happens within one layer of our anatomy, we're going to be perceiving the ripple effects of it through the others. That's why I'm picking up like emotions is something that you're identifying quite easily here. But perhaps the source of it is not within the emotional sphere. But I feel like it's not necessarily something very important to point out at this moment. But yeah, it's like I genuinely do feel that there is purpose in these emotions, there is purpose in this situation. It's not just meant to vanish. There's a big lesson to be learned here. And a big realization, a true treasure I'm hearing. It's like we have two golden spheres. I genuinely do feel like you're uncovering. It's like, sure, the situation has been feeling heavy, perhaps, and perhaps you feel like it's not been acting in your best interest. But in exploring these things, in shifting your perspective, in opening up to this teaching, to this lesson, to this new state of being, you are actually digging up a treasure that, again, I'm hearing most of us will not get to experience in this lifetime. So it's like, was it worse? Was it better at the end of the day? It's just an experience. You can't judge it as in, yeah, the experience right now doesn't feel good, but in a few months from now, I'm literally sensing you saying, well, I guess it was worth it. But yet again, it's like, it's just part of your life. You're just meant to be, well, that could also be a golden sphere. But it's like it's just a lesson which you are meant to be learning here, and one which is feeling is going to bring you so much light, is going to give you access to, I'm just sensing you like becoming aware, breaking through an illusion and becoming aware, oh my god, there is so much more light and love around than what I believed. But not in a mental way, in an like a true state of being. I just am in a state where I realize that yes, there is so much light, and that realization is not something that a lot of us have on this planet at this point in time. And I'm resensing that in your case, that's why it's happening. It's like it's an actual important turning point in your life, I'm hearing. The Empress is definitely the energy of, well, I'm not gonna lie, in this context it really reminds me of this one, of the Queen of Pentacles. The Empress to me is just the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine touches to so much, so many different fields. In this context, I'm literally sensing you sitting in your throne and realizing that, and letting yourself be provided for. It's really this mix of, I would describe it as a genuinely empowered feminine. Again, when I'm talking about divine feminine, divine masculine, I'm not talking about a gender. Like, we all have a divine feminine within. The divine feminine is our side, is responsible for sensitivity, the emotions. It rules the heart center. It's also related to receiving, whereas the masculine is in giving. I'm genuinely sensing that there's a lot here to what I was picking up with the Queen of Pentacles before at the back of the deck energy. It's like mending your relationship with receiving, letting yourself be provided for by the world, but not in a codependent way. Somehow this word is relevant and rings a bell for some of you, Pile 1. But letting yourself be provided by the world, not from a powerless state because you're craving the world meeting your needs, but because you are aware of what the world is in the first place. It's, I mean, just look at this figure. Does it look powerless to you? Absolutely not. It's the freaking Empress sitting on her throne very high. It's a very empowered state, which is open to receiving. I really am sensing, Pile 1, if you chose this pile, you probably are a little imbalanced relative to the feminine, because I'm generally sensing like I'm being drawn to explain what the heck it is in the first place. What the heck is the divine feminine and all these things. I'm generally sensing like this energy from Pile 1, which is, I love the idea, but I got no clue what you're talking about. It's like, I really love the idea. I see how it would be benefiting me, but it's so difficult for me to imagine myself receiving something without being in a needy, powerless place. I really do feel that there is a strong imbalance, which could very well be related to the emotions and the situation you're experiencing in the first place. It's really like uncovering the light activation you're experiencing is uncovering what the heck is a feminine, what the heck is a divine feminine, what is your place in this world as a being, not as in what is your purpose. No, it's like, what's the relationship between you and the world? I'm just sensing like awakening, opening your eyes to what's the truth of your existence as a member of this planet, of this world, and what it all entails. Awakening to what the hell is a divine feminine, why it exists in the first place, what is an empowered divine feminine, all of these various things. It's very interesting. The Eight of Swords, the Page of Swords, I genuinely do feel that because it was a topic that was running havoc in your mind, it's definitely something that you've been thinking about a lot lately. The Eight of Swords is really showing me like pressure, stress, like antagonism. The Page of Swords, in the imagery, we find like brambles. It's like cutting through the brambles and getting back this idea of you fighting your way through life because in your understanding and vision and state of being relative to the world, that's just the way it is. except that's not true. It's very valid of an experience, it's very understandable of an experience, and we have all the compassion in the world for our story, for Paiwan's story relative to what happened and why we ended up living our life this way. But as valid and as true as it feels, it's not true. That's not how the world goes around, actually. It's just that better. It's like we didn't have anything better to experience back then, so we didn't realize it. And I'm really sensing it's like the transition, the activation is us having to fight with the sword, having to use our mind, feeling like we're antagonized, feeling like we have to figure it out. Not that we are stupid, quite the opposite. I feel like you, Pawan, are very smart people. You know how to use a mind, but it's just like there are some things where the mind cannot help us. The divine feminine is not mental. The mind is a masculine thing. It's not a feminine one. So it's really this transition from all of these swords, all of this mental energy to the Empress. It's like realizing that the world doesn't go around this way. Realizing that the world doesn't need our input in order to be able to spin onto itself and do its rotation around the sun. The world doesn't need you for that. That's the activation going on right now. 3 of Wands, the World card. 3 of Wands, I generally feel like with the Wands we got some fiery energy back. I generally do feel you feeling a new spark, a renewal of your spark for life through this activation. You realizing that, yeah, perhaps the way you've been living your life, very understandable, but perhaps not true. And having all this compassion, you realize, my God, and now I realize that actually I've been holding back on a lot of fun because I was scared, because of very understandable reasons, that I don't have to anymore. So now I can just start having fun again. I'm re-sensing you like re-inviting the fun in your life, re-inviting genuine divine excitement, a form of depth in excitement that you perhaps haven't felt in a while, in a long while. But I'm genuinely sensing like, yeah, re-inviting the spark, the sense of adventure, the thrill, the will to live, you know? That's beautiful. The World card, well, the World card and the 3 of Wands both talk about travel, so that could be something here on your mind. That's a very vague thing that may resonate with some of you. I'm seeing travel, but more generally, it's just like I feel you re-owning who you are, coming back to yourself. Instead of being in this perception of me versus the world and the fact that it's always a back and forth between me and the world, it's just no, this story is about me. Just me inhabiting your body, coming back to yourself, coming back to who you are, coming back in a state of harmony, coming back in a state of wholeness relative to this topic, relative to the divine feminine. And yet again, re-inviting the fun, re-inviting life. And the Hanged Man is definitely giving me 2 energies. The first one, the lack of movement, which resonates with the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands is like, we've set a plan and we're moving towards it because we feel inspired, right? The Hanged Man is, well, the Hanged Man doesn't go very far, right? If he's hanged. Just gonna get it straight, right? So if you're hanged somewhere, probably not gonna be walking very far. And that's literally what I'm saying. Sensing is like so much confusion, so many clouds within the mind. I feel even the intuition center is fogged. It's like so much fog, such a thick illusion that we feel completely lost and off-road, off track. So much so that either we just stop taking actions altogether in our life because we don't believe in it, or we realize that whatever action we take, it rarely yields the results that we want because it just feels that we're taking all these actions from a very chaotic place. And so yeah, somehow the intentions with which we're not completely aware of the intention with which we're taking these actions, and so there is a big disconnection between why we're taking this action and what the action actually ends up yielding. So that's a bit of a weird state to be in, which makes sense here. But the Hanged Man also talks about looking at the world in a new way, upside down, so to speak. It's like taking on a new perspective, what we were touching on at the beginning of the reading. It's like seeing the world in a new light, and perhaps seeing the world in a truth, seeing the world in a way which makes you understand why your life went the way it did, makes you realize that it wasn't actually true, that you were living by the beliefs and thoughts and constructs of someone else, and realizing that, yeah, the world just doesn't go around the way you thought it did, which is beautiful, and that creates a lot of empowerment, I'm feeling. Before summing it up, I wanted to pick up the last oracle card we got, the oracle card that we got here, Soul Work. I'm getting two things. I'm generally sensing that, or you know what, I'm gonna keep it up for just after. I'm literally sensing that, yeah, it's you have lived your life in a very masculine way, not necessarily realizing it, not necessarily meaning it, but that's just because that's the only way you knew how to live life. A way that was very mental, a way where it was very like you having to push against the world in order to obtain anything. You having to know how to use a sword because things wouldn't come to you any other way. So it is very pushy, masculine energy, which is unhealthy. But you didn't know any better so as to how to live it. And now we're getting activated. We're starting to see through the thickness of this mist, through the thickness of this illusion, and we're realizing, oh my god, that wasn't true at all. Actually, there's a lot of feminine energy. It's just that this feminine energy was completely casted out of our life, and now we're realizing why. We're starting to understand why the feminine was never part of our life, or in very few instances. It's like we're reconnecting with our feminine, we're reconnecting with what the heck is a feminine, why it is a thing, reconnecting with the feminine, the divine feminine, which is tightly related to opening up our heart. And that is opening great many doors. Oop, with the camera. Soul work. Well, first of all, the bees, I'm hearing tribe. You know, it's like the majority of, I don't know, I actually don't know about that. There are some solitary bees, some species like that. But when we think bees, we think beehive, right? It's like living with your kin. But I'm generally sensing here it's like all of this thing is reopening you up to living your life in a completely brand new way now that you actually see the truth. Although your experience was completely understandable and valid, it wasn't true. That's why it was so painful and so foggy and so feeling messed up. But now we're coming back to our truth. We're re-embodying our body. We're re-embodying our life. We're back in the throne of our life. We're back inhabiting our energy, and as such attracting our tribe, people who inhabit similar frequencies. So that's a message I'm hearing, a little side message, but somehow it's relevant for some of you pile ones. I'm hearing, yeah, family, tribe, like people of the heart, people who resonate with your heart. And soul work, I'm generally sensing that since this is most definitely fixing a niche, like a longing issue relative to safety. When we feel disconnected from the world, it's not rare that we feel pretty darn safe. Now you feel stable enough to be able to open up to what your soul came here to do. So there's a lot of purpose coming through. It's like opening up to our passions, opening and starting to follow and unravel our journey. Because passion and excitement is intrinsically related to, I mean, it's how our body translates the language of our higher self, basically. So follow your passion and you'll be on your journey, you know? But it's like now that we feel safe because this has been taken care of, we are free to follow this. So yeah, very beautiful, beautiful energy. Thank you so much for having shared space with me today. That was something, a lovely reading. Beautiful activations going on. Let me tell you that. Let me know please down in the comments how it went for you, if it resonated. I'd love to read about your thoughts. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love. Enjoy this activation, which is currently happening. You don't have to do anything, just witness it. And yeah, wishing you the best until next time. See ya, take care. Hey Part 2, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you're excited about the messages to figure out what activation you're experiencing in your light body. If Pile 2, if you chose the Hematite, that's gonna be your reading, so let's not waste any more time and let's get to it. Let's go. So we're gonna start with these oracle cards, which are going to give us the overall vibe. Oh my god, we got a danger noodle. The otter and the snake. Okay, beautiful energies. Well, that reminds me a little bit of the energy of Pile 1, interestingly enough. But the otter spirit is all about love. It's like, isn't this energy so, isn't this imagery so cute? You know, it's just like a hug, and it's all about love. If you research a bit about otters, you're gonna realize that it's all about relationship, it's all about love. That's something you're opening up to. The snake spirit is definitely about healing. It's like shedding your old skin. Could be about shedding old limitations, shedding an old version of you, shedding past identities. You know? So that's very interesting. That's shedding, like in the activation that you're currently experiencing in your light body is 100% like shedding an old version of you in favor of one which is completely opened up to love and relationships. That's beautiful. I'm gonna bring out the big guns straight away, the tarot cards. We got the devil. Okay. Well, this one is definitely mirroring a little bit of the danger noodle. We got the Empress. Got the Six of Swords. They're not all gonna fit in. That's beautiful. Got the Page of Swords, as well as Ten of Pentacles, an Ant, and the Lovers. Okay, they're not gonna all fit in, so let's figure out a way. Yep. Can we see them all? Yeah, kind of. What's gonna do? Okay, so what do we have here? The Devil, the Empress, the Six of Swords, the Page of Swords. Interestingly enough, two of these cards already popped up for Group 1. You could be coming from Group 1. But anyway. The Devil. I'm definitely sensing the Devil. What I was immediately picking up on is like a mirror to the Snake card. Is like shedding an old identity of yours. We have many references to love, I think. Yeah, I'm starting to pick up on a theme. Like, the Six of Swords is definitely making me feel it's the energy of like moving away, giving up on a situation that we may have been holding close to our heart for a long time, realizing that it's futile, giving up on it, and moving away from it. Just, yeah, giving up and moving away for the sake of our future, for the sake of our evolution, because we realize that it's pointless, it's futile in a situation we're in. At the same time, the Page of Swords is definitely making me feel like this energy of coming back to ourselves, like calling our power back and becoming the master of what we want to identify as, becoming the master of our identities. What do we want to be? What do we want to become? And re-owning that. It's like, I'm not giving it to other people anyway. I'm not gonna let other people define me. Other people may have all these projections onto us, all these beliefs, they're perceiving us with other eyes, and that's fine. But you know yourself better, and it's not. It's like this movement from I'm gonna let other people tell me what I am, who I am, into I don't actually really care about what they think of me. It's always interesting, useful information, but at heart, I choose who I am. I choose what I want to be. The Empress card is definitely like coming back in your throne. You know, it's like sitting on your throne with the feminine, which is definitely making a callback to the otter spirit. It's like sitting on your throne, and I'm picking up on something. Not being ashamed or scared of your most vulnerable side. What's the storyline that we got here? Spirit, tell me. Okay, I feel that in the past, I genuinely sincerely feel that all of my readings begin by this sentence, but that's okay. Something happened with other people that I'm hearing. It would be different for every one of you, Palsu, but it's like a situation involving other people that didn't necessarily turn out the way you wanted it, but you struggled letting go of these people, and the activation that you're currently experiencing is definitely you letting go of that, you realizing that the situation with these other people is futile, is pointless, that nothing good for you is going to ever come out of this. And it's really you, I'm sensing grief, like you really coming to conclusions with your own tears and finally accepting this sucks, but I accept that these other people will not change for me. Accepting it, letting go, and moving away. Moving away even if we don't know where we're going. The mind, the ego doesn't know where it's headed, but it understands, but through this activation you understand that where you are currently within this situation with these people, or you used to be, because some people could have already left this thing, not necessarily physically leaving a place, but leaving a relationship, that for sure, a situation, a social context, a social situation involving other people. That leaving is the only option here, because these people will not change for you, and I'm sensing that the pain would come from the fact that you really want, I mean, you desire fulfilling relationships, which is very strange because it's absolutely not a need that 100% of humankind possesses, right? But through these relationships, you were not getting these, you weren't really getting these needs met, if you are completely honest with yourself, I'm sensing. So it's like, yeah, it was comfortable because you knew these people somehow, somewhat, but it was like the negatives were outweighing the positives by a big margin. So it's like, understandably, you reach a point where you realize that it's not worth it to keep these relationships, these people within your life. But that was painful because they were people you were attached to. But in moving away, the activation is that you realize that actually, as painful as it would feel beforehand, you realize that now it's up to you to decide who you are. Which at first feels scary, then through this activation you realize actually that's your power, that's your birthright. And that now, this fear turns into excitement. Oh my god, I get to decide whatever the hell I want to be. The Empress is sitting in your throne. Now we have the story, the timeline. Now it starts making sense. It's like it's you coming back in your throne, sitting on your throne, being unapologetic about your vulnerability and your desires for love, your desires for healthy relationships, uplifting, loving connections with people, with the world, being aware of what you deserve, that you deserve the best of the best, and that you're not going to settle for people who ask you to lower yourself, to be less than, so as to be able to talk with them. Nah, that's not how the world goes around, honey. You're not meant to lower you're not meant to lower yourself for them. If anything, the opposite. It's up to them to catch up, right? And resensing that, like, the devil is this moment of realization. It's the snake where you shed your skin. It's like, hey, it was very painful, and that's understandable, but through this activation you realize that this power you were giving away to these people, actually, it's yours to claim. You have this power, and it is an absolute joy to be using this power for yourself, to be choosing your definitions. The devil is really this switch, this activation I'm sensing, where you shed your old skin, realizing, oh my god, I actually don't have to rely on anyone else to decide who I am. And I don't have to be ashamed or afraid of my sensitivity, you know? So it's a beautiful realization. And with these other cards, 10 of Pentacles is definitely making me feel that it's like it's abundance, it's stability, it's strong foundations coming from the fact that you are re-owning your power, that you were giving so much of your energy away to these people, hoping that you get something back in return, realizing, you know what, actually, I don't need these people. I thought I needed these people to cover these needs of mine. I realized I actually don't. My definitions and how good I feel about myself, that's not on anyone else. That's on you. That's your power. That's your pleasure. That's your excitement. Because you get to do whatever the hell your imagination can reach with yourself. And no one can do anything about it. And that is re-owning your power. That is re-owning who you are, being proud of who you are. And that is creating, in turn, the strong foundation, the strong stability. And now you're completely open to the abundance. In this case, there's a strong focus on abundance of love. We got the Otter, we got the Empress, and now we got the Lovers. There's a lot of love pending, waiting to be entering your life, I'm sensing. But yeah, it's definitely like strong foundations for yourself to be able to open up to love, to be able to support all of this love. I'm sensing that you cannot receive all of this love. You couldn't receive all of this love in the past because of the fact that you were close to all of this love, because you were in this perception of, I must give something away. You're so focused on these people outside of yourself that there wasn't that much love going on within you. Now that you're starting to come back to yourself and focus on yourself, now all of a sudden, you are experiencing love for yourself. You're providing yourself with these needs to which, again, you didn't need anyone else in the first place. Although it was understandable you reached the situation, it doesn't have to be this way. And now you're completely opening up for love for yourself. You're opening all the channels of love I'm hearing. So that's beautiful. The Lovers card is definitely both about you falling in love with yourself, you coming to yourself, but also starting to invite, so much love within that this love gets reflected to you in the external through relationships, noticeably. Many new relationships or old relationships deepening, because now that you have explored all of this love for yourself, you are able to experience it. I hope it makes sense. But yeah, it's like all of this love revolving around you that gets expressed through your relationships. It could be new friendships, it could be old ones deepening, it could be romantic. But I'm just sensing just like the otters, like, if you don't know, look it up on the internet, it's very cute. It's like this species, they just live together. Things that we would find to be so cute because they're always hugging each other, because, to not drift apart throughout the night while they're floating on the ocean, they're always holding their paws. It's so cute to us because it's not something we're used to, but it's actually completely natural to them. They take care of each other even if they are not part of their family. That's just a natural thing within their species. To them, it's not cute, that's just the way it is. And that's realizing that for yourself. No, love is not a luxury, that's just the way it is. And as such, starting to have this much more profound experience of love itself, within, without, everywhere. So that is beautiful. And Anand, I'm definitely sensing a sense of completion. We got another reference to a snake. But I'm definitely sensing a feeling of completion within this card. like a long journey that finally reaches completion. A hero going through so many places, going to so many places, facing so many challenges, just to finally realize that the biggest prize that they have won wasn't the treasure under the dragon's butt, but rather who they became, who they've become through this whole adventure. I'm definitely sensing, yeah, this sense of closure, finality. It's like it feels quote unquote the end. It's never an end unless you're quitting life, you know. For as long as life goes on, there is no end. But it feels like the end of a cycle here, the end of you perpetually chasing love, realizing that it's just within, and it's your pleasure and your ecstasy to be cultivating it within, and to see it being reflected to you, from chasing people who would fill your cup to filling up your own cup, so that when people mirror it to you, it just starts overflowing. It's a beautiful experience. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah, it's really you having this realization through leaving these people around and starting to focus onto yourself, which I get may feel challenging at first, but that's where this activation comes in. So that is beautiful. Last oracle card, I can't make this up. That's more than on brand with what we've been talking about. It's about calling your power back, right? It's like, it's the magic wand. It's you no longer waiting on people around you to do something, to make a move, for you to be able to do whatever the hell you want with your life. It's just you standing so firmly in your own shoes and being so unapologetic about it that you couldn't care less about what other people do around you. You know that it has very little influence over your choices. It's up to you to live your life. It's up to you to be the hero of your life, and no one can do anything about it. It's really this sense of, yeah, you re-owning your power, coming back to yourself, and just sitting on your damn throne, you know? Embracing all the love all around you. So yeah, that is beautiful. That is very, very beautiful. What a lovely, lovely energy, lovely reading. So yeah, thank you so much for having shared space with me today. Yet again, lots of love, very lovely reading here. And let me know down in the comments how it went for you, if it resonated. I'd love to read about your thoughts. I would love that. Yeah, enjoy it, I guess. Have all the compassion for yourself while you are letting go of this, if that's something you're still experiencing. And enjoy the opening up to all of these beautiful other energies coming up, the love, the power, the stability, the abundance in your life. Yep. I wish you all my love. I wish you all the best. Until next time, take care. Well, hello there, Pile 3. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I hope you're excited about the message. I hope you're curious to know how you're getting activated at this moment in your light body. If Pile 3, if you chose the beautiful Aventurine, that's going to be your reading, so let's get to it. Okay, jumping right in, we're going to begin with, we got 3 this time, with the oracle cards, which are going to give us the overall energy that we're dealing with. That is interesting. The most interesting thing that I can say, especially now that it's the last group, is that the themes seem similar from one group to another. There's definitely a theme going on with this video. But yeah, transformation is beautiful. Trust the great mystery. Dream the world into being. I'm definitely sensing that the activation that you're currently experiencing is an activation of within your light body, realizing that you are the master of your life. You are the hero of your story. You're transforming, letting go of what no longer serves you, awakening, remembering who the hell you are. Remembering who the fluff you are. You're not anyone. You are the one who is living your life. You are the hero of your life. Trust the great mystery and dream the world into being. I'm definitely sensing that some of you could have been obsessed with manifestation for a while. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but I'm definitely sensing that a lot of you have been trying, meaning to install changes in your life, big changes. Perhaps you're someone who has big ambitions, big dreams, and you've been wanting big shifts in your life, but somehow you haven't been able to really make it happen. You didn't really know why. And I'm definitely sensing that you are through this activation, you're realizing the why. It's like everything happens in perfect divine timing. And the reason to why it didn't work out is because I'm sensing that your yesterday's dreams were much smaller than the ones you are developing at the moment. So I'm sensing that it would have been a bit of a shame to rush little dreams when you can have much, much more. I believe there's a saying or a metaphor here, but I've forgotten it. Like, why chase something when you can have the big thing? I don't remember what it is, but that's the vibe I'm getting is, why chasing such small things when you can have so much more? And that's where you're realizing through this activation what it means to trust in the divine timing, trust in the lead of your own soul, and realizing, and I'm just sensing like you starting to actually create the life of your dreams the way you want it, but from a completely new, different perspective. It's like, yes, now somehow it's all starts to work, it's all starts clicking in, but it's thanks to this transformation, because there's something that we thought we were understanding that we actually were not. That's the energy I'm getting at. It's like you starting to create the life of your dreams, you starting to step up within your life, sitting into a throne, having the steering wheel within your hands, like being in the driver's seat of your life, but from a new perspective, because you thought that things were meant to be done a certain way before and didn't work out and you were upset, and now you're realizing why it wouldn't work out and why now it does. I feel like there's a sense of maturing here as well, like a transformation. We're gonna bring out the tarot cards immediately, so we're gonna have more information. But yeah, it's definitely given us quite an overall precise energy. We have the Seven of Wands, okay. Just like with other groups, I'm gonna have to do something funky with the cards because they're never gonna fit on the screen. We got the Magician, there you go. There you go. We got the Knight of Pentacles. The Nine of Swords, okay, interesting. As well as the Wheel of Fortune, here Destiny. Another Knight, the Knight of Swords, and an Ant. Okay. Yep, can we see them? Yeah, good enough. Okay, interesting. Well, the fact, I'm definitely picking up on energies we've just talked about. The fact that we got the Magician is definitely the creator, with the infinity symbols above his head. Is definitely the figure that shows us that anything is possible. And what am I picking up on right now? Yeah, your message is coming in pieces like a puzzle. Give me just a moment. Yeah, I'm definitely sensing this energy of you stepping up into the creator position of your life. But I'm also getting the sense that you already had a definition of what creating your life meant to you. That's why I guess I was picking up on the fact that you may be someone who's familiar with the term of manifestation, of just focus on it and you know that it must happen, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like this is something that you're already aware that you've already named. Law of attraction, manifestation, this kind of jazz. It's like you've already named it, but you never were able to somehow harness it or harness it to its fullest potential. And I generally feel like that you are awakening to what it actually means, because so far you're realizing right now that so far you thought you knew what it meant, and now you're realizing that you actually didn't. And that's the kind of energy I'm getting of maturing with the knights. Within any Sioux in tarot, the knight is the energy which brings out the energy of the Sioux into the world, but it's not mature enough to the point where it is either a queen or a king, you know? The knight to me still appears with some downfalls, generally. It's like it's the energy that has very well understood the energy of the entire suit, the gifts of the suit, but still lacks a little bit on the maturity, still lacks on a few details, a few fine tunings that will make this knight turn into the queen or the king, you know? And that's kind of the energy I was getting, is like you thought you understood this whole concept of being in the power seat of your life, and you were getting frustrated because it didn't work out. Now you're realizing that the reason to why it didn't work out is because you actually didn't understand what it actually meant. And there's no shaming there. I'm feeling that some of you may feel a little bit of shame. It's like, no, that's fine. If no one, I mean, why would you expect to know it if no one taught it to you, and if you haven't taken the time to make a few mistakes to figure it out on your own, right? It's like, there's no shaming there. It's just you realizing, oh yeah, well, I thought I did, but I actually didn't know. And now it starts making sense all of a sudden. Now it starts working. Now we have completely redefined what it means to create the life that we desire. Because although it's the exact same terms, now we have given it a completely new definition, for we have a completely new, different understanding of that, a much deeper understanding. The whale spirit that we have below is a very, feels to me, very ancient, very wise energy, soulful energy. And that's this kind of energy that you're getting activated to. Like from, I'm resensing that you could be transforming with the butterfly from the energy of unconsciously creating from an ego place. Yet again, no shame. It's just fun. Like you creating the life of your dreams, or meaning to create the life of your dreams because you are wanting to run away from a few things, because you're wanting to explore some ego dreams, which is fun, which is amazing, into you realizing what it actually is to create the life of your dreams, and realizing all of the soulful schemes that were going on behind the fact that no, you're not just an ego, you're a soul. Pursuing ego dreams is fun, but there is much more. That's what I was picking up on immediately straight off the bat. I remember, it's like, why going for such small dreams when you can have the whole lot, right? That's definitely what I'm sensing. It's like, at the end of the day, you won't give up on these dreams you today have, but you're gonna realize that there are much bigger dreams which include the one that you today have. I hope it makes sense so far. But it's definitely a very interesting energy. It's like completely redefining what you thought you knew, and bringing in a much deeper, much wiser energy, an energy of knowing yourself for who you are, which isn't just an ego. Although the ego is the human us. It's the fun one. It's the one that wants to have fun. It's the one who wants pleasure. It's the one that wants to get away from unsafety and from pain. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very fun to play with the ego, but you're longing for something much deeper, and you realize that as fun as playing with the ego is, it's not going to fulfill you as much. So why pursuing these dreams when you can have much, much more? And you are realizing that at this moment. You're currently witnessing this activation, which is very beautiful. Digging into the other cards now, for I feel a lot to talk about, because I genuinely do feel that these cards are describing very different, distinct energies somehow. Well, typically, Wheel of Fortune, I'm definitely sensing, like when we say the wheel is spinning, it's like luck is now on our side. I'm definitely sensing the energy of you having such a profound realization about yourself, who you are, what you want, and how to actually make it happen, that your life starts going in a completely new direction. You taking a completely new direction in life where you realize that yes, you can do whatever the hell you want and you're always going to be supported in that. So now it's just a matter of how much do you dare following your big ambitions, right? So I'm definitely sensing with this, it's like part of your destiny, in the sense of part of your purpose, to have this moment of realization, of sinking much deeper into yourself and having these realizations at this moment in time, and also noticing a profound redirection in your life, because now that you are living from this new, completely new, different perspective, you're realizing that you have much deeper dreams, which start taking you in a new, different direction. I'm hearing new, different direction, which is probably going to be very different for every one of you, pile 3. But that's something that I'm definitely strongly sensing, is like you actually starting to consider making big moves in going down new paths, because you realize that these new things that you were a little overlooking so far are in fact much more fulfilling than what you thought you want. Okay, this 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands, though, what the hell does it mean there? 7 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. Give me a moment to tune in. I feel that there is a reason to why this activation is necessary in the first place. I feel, it literally feels like this energy I was describing of, yeah, you're maturing. However, it's a little something that I was thinking about while I was doing the reading earlier. It's like, it feels a little weird to say that you are maturing thanks to this situation, because maturing is a very natural process. It's not something that I genuinely don't feel that. I mean, maturing is very natural. Maturing is almost a word of the ego, because it's like maturing, but what do you mean by maturing? What does it mean to mature? Getting to know yourself, yeah, that would be something that makes a lot more sense already. That is something that is a lifelong journey, but the word maturing sounds a little off in this situation. And as I was picking up, it's like it literally feels in your energy, even though you're not necessarily aware of it, even though you don't necessarily mean it, but it feels like a very immature energy. Whoop, the camera. There you go. A very immature energy of jumping from one place to another, trying to create and manifest because law of attraction is trendy and blah, 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 and whatever. But it feels immature in the sense that there is obvious denial about who you are. That's what I'm getting, is like this activation is not just, this activation is leading you into this clicking moment, this switching moment, which is helping you getting over the reason to why you were resisting sinking into yourself. That's what I'm getting. Because I was like, why is the process of getting into yourself in this context not natural? What are we talking about in the first place? Why are we repeating this word maturing? It's like, what's up with that? Well, I feel like this is not something that you are willing, at least consciously. I genuinely do feel that you find comfort in staying in this more quote-unquote immature energy, in this energy of I'm just gonna follow my ego dreams. Yet again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm definitely sensing that it's growing a little heavy on you because, well, it's not as fulfilling. It's perfect, but just not as preferred, not as fulfilling as following the dreams which really resonate with our depth, with our soul, as the energy I'm getting. So all of this redirection in your life, all of this redefinition of who you are and what it means to be in the driver's seat of your life is definitely coming through this epiphany and this, just switch. I keep on making this gesture like a switch, a realization of a kind. And in this context, this card makes more sense. When I look at the imagery of the Seven of Wands, it's definitely feeling like wanting to protect something away from the rest. You know, it's like I have something precious in my hand and I want to protect it. It's literally the imagery of fending for yourself, defending yourself from other branches, which may be wanting to steal the golden orb that you got within your hand. Very defensive energy, and I would almost dare to say almost aggressively defensive energy. You may recognize yourself in this very irritable syndrome. I mean, I wouldn't be describing it as a syndrome, but it's like I'm sensing a very triggerable spot within your energy field. It's like you're all fun and games until someone starts poking this point, at which case you can become very aggressive, because there is a strong sense of wanting to defend something which is precious to us. And this defense comes from the Nine of Swords. I was wondering where it would come in the reading, but this energy deals with betrayal, honestly. Like feeling betrayed by someone we trusted, feeling backstabbed. It's where I'm getting such vague energies on this one. Okay, I get it. It's just that I feel that this story that I'm picking up on is such a personal story that it's gonna differ a lot from viewer to viewer. So I can only give the general vibes. That's what I'm getting at. That's why I'm getting a story, a storyline, a time frame, but it just feels like I don't have many details, so to speak. And I was feeling frustrated about that, but I just feel that it's just because the nature of the story is going to be so different from viewer to viewer that I cannot pick up on the details, because the details will not be relevant to the next one. But it literally feels like you carrying within yourself a form of distrust within the world, because you have felt betrayed by people you used to love or still love. That's not the point, but you felt backstabbed by people you trusted. And as such, you've been protecting yourself ever since, not trusting anything or anyone else. And the point relative to which you felt backstabbed or betrayed is definitely something which is very precious to you. Something that you may feel is very vulnerable, although it doesn't necessarily feel that it's inherently vulnerable. Perhaps it became a vulnerable spot of you after this betrayal. But I don't feel it's inherently vulnerable. I'm not picking up on necessarily like emotions or a soft spot or anything. It's really something that, yeah, we hold very close to our heart because we consider it to be very precious. And we have already experienced being betrayed relative to this. So it's like, I'm going to protect it, I'm going to defend it, and I don't trust anyone else. Which is fair, which is understandable, don't get me wrong. And I'm genuinely sensing that... Okay, between quick parentheses, I'm sorry if this message is coming up a little bit all over the place, but I'm definitely sensing like I'm picking up on different pieces of a puzzle that I'm piecing together. Closing the parentheses here. But in like the way that you coped with this betrayal and this defense and this energy of just not trusting and defending yourself, I feel that is through the Knight of Pentacles, which is extraordinarily well defended, well guarded, very well prepared, very well organized, flawless, I'm hearing. It's just flawless. There is no risk here. Which is better when you don't trust anyone, right? But I'm definitely sensing like this very well-crafted energy from you so as to protect this thing that is very precious to you in a very... It feels quote-unquote perfect, whatever it means to you, but it feels very carefully crafted, very well protected. And I genuinely feel you focusing on yourself, into honing into your skills, just being the best version of yourself that you mentally understand. what it is that you believe to be the best version of yourself. But yet again, like this whole perception of you wanting to become the best version of yourself, by the way, that may be the reason why you're so much into self-development and manifestation. I just feel like that the root of it all is betrayal. And that's why you wanting to manifest a better life for yourself from this perspective of wanting to run away from betrayal and protecting yourself never really yielded the results you necessarily wanted, because the core intention behind it was not necessarily the most light and love filled, right? The original intention wasn't really about love, wasn't really about light, wasn't really about abundance, but rather about a runaway from pain, if it makes sense. That's why it didn't work out, I feel like. Yeah. I'm definitely sensing that this activation, this transformation you're incurring is definitely relative to this topic, because this is the reason to why you've been preferring. Somehow I don't see the immediate connection with it, but I feel that yet again this is a very personal thing. That's why I'm not picking up on it. A very individual thing. That's what I mean by personal thing. There is a lot of immaturity which is being chosen purposefully. I'm choosing to stay immature because that's how I feel the most comfortable and the safest. But this transformation is definitely relative to this topic, making you realize why you've been so obsessed with it all along, and realizing that you are the magician of your life. But that's not how it works. The magician is not here just for the sake of running away from a backstab. The magician is here because it's based off focusing on our desires, what excites us, what motivates us, what we feel love and light relative to, not what we're running away from. That's a completely 180 degree different perspective. So that is one thing. Deep message coming through. These two lost cards. An ant is definitely making me feel like this imagery makes me feel of the womb here in this context. It's like coming back to who you actually are. I'm feeling like perhaps for most of you this version of you is not all that authentic. It's like you became this way out of perceived necessity to cope with this danger, but that's not who you actually are. And you are, through this activation, releasing this so as to open up to your power, to open up to your dreams, to open up to yourself. You're coming back to who you are, who you were before you were told, before all of this mess. Coming back to your truth, going back to the infant you were meant to be, so to speak. And I'm genuinely feeling that from the Knight of Pentacles, you are becoming the Knight of Swords. Whereas here, the energies that I'm picking up are not the holistic energies of the cards, but within the context, this energy that you may find yourself in right now is this energy of, it feels like perfectionism, being very well crafted, very in control of everything, extraordinarily grounded, very in control of everything kind of energy, which is not bad. It's perfect as it is, but it's just not aligned with who you are, and that's growing heavy on you because that's not your natural state of being. Coming back to yourself, inherently become more of the Knight of Swords, which is much less armored if we just look at the imagery to begin with. It's like you're dropping the armor, you're dropping the defense, you're realizing that you don't have anything to fear. I feel like you develop such strong boundaries that you realize that you don't have anything to defend yourself from. Not in the naive way because the world is all butterflies and roses, no, but rather because you know that you can defend yourself if necessary. You're handling two swords now. Before you were a knight and weren't even handling one. You were only handling a hammer. Now you're handling two swords, because why the hell not? That's literally what I'm hearing. Is like, I just want to. That's it. And yeah, like here in this position, you are much less armored because you know that you can defend yourself. You are aware of your boundaries and you're not scared anymore. You have two swords instead of one because you enjoy it, because it's fun. That's it. That's the only purpose of it. And the Knight of Swords is also very swift, very smart, very witty. I'm generally sensing like you activating some of your, remembering some of your gifts that were here all along. Is just that they were a little surprised because you were so focused on other things. But just you coming back to who you are. Who you are, being a much more active, much more active, much swifter person. One which is much more about trying it out, not overthinking it, not spending so much time in trying to make it perfect, defending yourself, just going for it, you know? Yet again, that's not good, that's not bad, that's just who you are. And that's all that matters. That was a long reading. Got one last card, very on brand for your reading, Higher Perspective. I'm literally sensing that the whole point of your transformation right now is releasing this pain that you've been walking with. And the reason to why you have been walking with this pain for so long and haven't re-released it just yet is because you were, I was about to say waiting, but that's not really the word. It's like you didn't have the higher perspective. Let me give you an image. It's like you cannot help someone who's drowning in a river by jumping yourself in the river and drowning with them. You can only help them from the shore. That's the kind of perspective I'd like you to see. It's like, till then, each time you would try to go within these emotions, within these memories, you would fall back into the same river. With the higher perspectives, literally like you are now on the shore, helping yourself, if it makes sense. I'm definitely sensing like you exceeding having this realization, this epiphany, understanding with the whale spirit, the divine plan, the divine timing that was behind it all along. Why the heck it happened? It happened for an extraordinarily good reason. That was in your highest interest all along. I'm literally sensing all of these beautiful energies just, and that's like also making me feel very soulful, very deep energy. I feel that you're a very, very deep person, although you have pretended not to be so far, perhaps. I feel like you're much deeper than what you give yourself credits for and what other people around you believe you to be. Like with this higher perspective, I'm literally like seeing you. Yeah, it's like very mystic energy that I'm getting, I'm not gonna lie. Because you see the truth, the epiphany, and all that good jazz. That was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energies. Well, thank you so much for having shared space with me today. That was a lovely reading. An honor to be reading your energy. Please let me know down in the comments how it went for you. I'd love to read about your thoughts. There was a lot we discussed, a lot we touched on, definitely. And yeah, I wish you all my love, all the best with this beautiful transformation. Hang tight, because you can do it. You can transmute these emotions and you will see what you're meant to see and you will reown this power. This is currently happening. You know, just witness it. And yeah, till next time, I wish you the best. Bye.